what it means for OpenAI, one of the important partners of it. Steve Kovac also looking at Microsoft. And Steve, I want to start with you. We spent a good amount of our 9 o'clock hour at the top of the hour discussing the implications for Microsoft of what appears to be sort of a deepening connection between Oracle and OpenAI and the expiration, so to speak, over time of the exclusivity of financing by Microsoft. So what do we know or what do we surmise here?
Yeah, David, this is what we're seeing. It's Microsoft sort of losing its grip that it once had over OpenAI. Until yesterday, it was the exclusive cloud provider for OpenAI, the hottest startup on the planet. And now, instead of being the exclusive provider, it has what they're calling the right of first refusal. So OpenAI says, they'll come to Microsoft saying, we need this cloud capacity for X, Y, and Z, what we want to do. And Microsoft can now say, we don't have the capacity to serve you. You guys need to go somewhere else. It's very clear they're going to Oracle right now, but this also potentially opens up the window for those other hyperscaler companies we talk about so often, Google and Amazon, even smaller players like HPE and Dell. They can all get in on the game as well. And that's also what the Stargate thing is about, is OpenAI using its own money and its own cash to invest in cloud capacity. And you might remember, David, we've heard CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, say several times throughout the last year that they literally don't have the cloud capacity to keep up with the enormous demand they're seeing for artificial intelligence. That's not just OpenAI. That's other open source models. That includes Meta's models and so many other models that are also running on Azure cloud servers. That's why Microsoft said they're going to spend $80 billion in its fiscal year ending at this summer just to build out AI infrastructure, half of which is going to be happening here. And so all that money is effectively, yes, going to go towards NVIDIA. This is great news for NVIDIA and all these other companies. But what we're seeing now is Microsoft losing that exclusivity on the cloud. It makes a lot of money from having this cloud deal with OpenAI. The more OpenAI activity that happens on Azure cloud servers, the more money both companies end up making. So this is potentially them just because they don't have the capacity to do it. They're kind of ceding some of that potential revenue growth to other cloud providers.
Yeah. Kate, from the OpenAI side, I mean, do we have a sense? You know, there have been, and I'm sure you've heard it, talk in the marketplace about a deterioration in the relationship in some way. But do you have any sense as to what the conversation was? Was it OpenAI saying, hey, we need more, you can't give it to us? Or I don't know. You tell me.
That's what I'm hearing from sources, David, is a little bit of the lead up to this. And it's that capacity that Steve talked about, the demand, and you're seeing that spill over to Oracle. One interesting thing I'm hearing from sources out here is the relationship between CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, and Larry Ellison. So that has gotten closer since they first struck this partnership back in June. The two of them seem to be really aligned as with the big spending that's required with AI infrastructure. I'm told that personal relationship has gotten much closer, which is really interesting. The other thing I'm hearing, SoftBank is a big part of this, and Masa-san, that's another personal relationship. CEO Sam Altman and Masayoshi Son, who, David, you know well, he's not an incremental thinker. Neither is Sam Altman. They've both really been banging the table for this level of infrastructure. They need this stratospheric level of spending. And another thing I'm hearing as well is that, yes, this would have been driven by the private sector. Had this announcement not happened at the White House yesterday, these companies still would have been pouring billions in. But it is a way to underwrite this type of deal, to say you have the confidence of the U.S. government, you have the support of Donald Trump, and symbolically this was a massive deal for OpenAI and Sam Altman. If you think about the animosity, the feud between Elon Musk and Sam Altman, that it's been so public. Musk, of course, a key advisor of President Trump, and Sam Altman got his moment yesterday. It was sort of his debutante moment up there at the podium with Masa, with Larry Ellison, and getting the approval of President Trump. There was this open question: what is OpenAI's role going to be in this new administration? Are they going to be iced out of these sort of deals? We got proof yesterday that is not the case. Sam Altman, President Trump called him the leading expert on AI. So that was just a big moment for him.
Nvidia just shocked the market once again with a brand new partnership like never before. And oh boy, it is wild. Remember Stargate? That Trump $500 billion AI investment. Well, remember how we used to talk about Nvidia powering up the whole thing with its GPUs? The time has come, ladies and gentlemen, and OpenAI is the first to start the deal of the century. Let us take a deep dive together and find out how Nvidia and OpenAI promise to change the entire game. Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
Let's get some people who are in the room.
Sure.
I think that Renee Haas has been, by virtue of the fact that ARM is a crucial partner here. It's one of Stargate's first technology partners. And we've got Renee Haas, who I think is very informed about the situation. Worked, by the way, at NVIDIA, and obviously large shareholder is Masa-san. So, Renee, great to see you. Please explain to us how important how important this really is, because I initially thought that some of these things are just kind of be political, but Stargate seems to be suddenly jumping ahead of everybody in terms of its importance here.
Good morning, Jim and David and team. It's a pretty big deal when you just think about the scale of investment that we're talking about. $500 billion. I think it's probably the largest infrastructure or any investment of any kind in history. And AI, and we've talked about this a lot of times, requires it. You need a tremendous amount of energy. You need a lot of land. You need a lot of compute. And you need low power. And that's where ARM fits in. But it's a big, big deal.
Okay, so compute, when I hear it, says to me that your friend Jensen Huang, NVIDIA, is going to be the major player when it comes to that. Can you shed a little light? I know that Jensen wasn't available or talking about yesterday, but he's kind of the elephant in the room, isn't he?
Well, technology partners that were announced were Microsoft, NVIDIA, ARM, OpenAI, and Oracle. And, of course, NVIDIA's Grace Blackwell, which we've talked about many times. The CPU there is ARM. The GPU is Blackwell. They're going to be the primary technology partner off the bat. With $500 billion of investment and just the amount of problems that need to be solved over time, I think there's opportunity for more players. But right now, yes, it's a great day for Grace Blackwell, and it's a great day for ARM. It's also a great day.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
look, I hate to get too granular on this thing, and I know it's not really your world, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but we're trying to figure out OpenAI's relationship with Microsoft and OpenAI's relationship with Oracle after yesterday, because I had always thought that it would not be, and Dave and I can talk about this, that OpenAI was Microsoft, and now it looks like that the OpenAI is partnering with Oracle, and that would not be something that I would have thought was going to occur 48 hours ago.
Yeah, it's probably an area that Sam and Satya should comment on rather than myself. But
right.
I think one of the things when you look at Stargate has been the vision of Masa and the vision of SoftBank to be very instrumental in making this happen. Masa-san is the chairman. And as a result of that, I think he has been very integral in making this happen. And this obviously also would not have happened with fantastic support, without the fantastic support of the incoming administration. There's a lot of work required, Jim, to get all of these permits done, expedited, regulations put in place that can be fast-tracked to make all this happen. So that's why it was such a big day yesterday, and why the venue that was chosen was at the White House.
NVIDIA emerges once again as a key player in the latest chapter of AI evolution. And with OpenAI's help, the first Stargate data center will open soon in Abilene, Texas. It promises to house and operate about 64,000 NVIDIA GB200 semiconductors, which is an insanely huge number for your typical data center that is poised to spearhead the U.S. to the top of the AI food chain. But before going on with the video, are you into cryptocurrency? If so, check out our second channel, Investocracy Crypto. We bring you breaking news, expert analysis, and the latest trends in the fast-moving world of digital assets. Whether you're a seasoned crypto investor or just curious about the future of finance, we've got something for you. Click the link in the description to subscribe to Investocracy Crypto now. Don't miss out and stay ahead of the game. Now, let's get back to the video.
I obviously never question the ambitions of Masa, but there are those who are questioning the ability to actually finance this, including Elon Musk, who said simply in a tweet, SoftBank doesn't have the money. Now, what they do have is an awful lot of ARM. Do you have an understanding at all? And I know how often you do speak to Masa, of how this is going to be financed and whether it would include perhaps selling some of the ownership stake in ARM?
Well, one of the things that was mentioned also yesterday, David, was MGX involvement as a financing partner, and more details are going to come out relative to all of that. So I won't try to take on Elon's tweet. I heard about it this morning, but I didn't see it. But I would say rest assured that you would not have the individuals you saw yesterday and the president all together with such a announcement if there wasn't a lot of backing from a financial standpoint.
But is it your understanding or expectation that SoftBank will retain its current enormous stake in ARM?
Yeah, I can't really comment on that, David, but as you and I have chatted about many times, Masa loves ARM. Masa loves ARM as I love ARM. And he also loves the long-term potential of the company. So I can't comment any further.
Renee, you know, the numbers are staggering. We talk about them all the time. I mean, $500 billion here, another $100 billion there. I mean, my God. Do you believe that the return will be justified in the enormous expense that is taking place right now when it comes to the applications from AI that we're all anticipating?
You know, David, you and I have chatted about this many times. I am very much an AI bull. When you look at some of the things that AI will be able to enable, let's just look at drug investment and drug research. Drugs can take 10 to 20 years to develop. When you start at the base level, 95% of those efforts fail. We still do lab testing on animals. Approvals take a long time. AI can shrink all of those development times, not only in terms of developing great drugs faster and sooner, but developing drugs that we can't even do today, i.e. cancer drugs that are particular to your own genome sequence. So I think there will be huge return in many disruptive areas. Medicine is one of the areas I'm personally most excited about.
Back in January 2025, the ambitious Stargate project was unveiled by none other than President Donald Trump, supported by OpenAI and Oracle. The initiative aimed at establishing 10 data centers over time. The news of NVIDIA's integral involvement acts as a powerful catalyst for market movements. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Do you think NVIDIA is more attractive right now at this evaluation, or do you think there's still some legitimate concerns out there about AI, DeepSeek, and lower price models?
Well, you know, I really think NVIDIA is quite attractive here, and there's a couple of reasons why. Well, let's take a look at the valuation first. The stock is trading in line with the SOX index now and is trading at only a slight premium to the S&P 500. If you look at it historically, that's historically where the stock's bottomed on a valuation perspective. But more importantly, we have improving fundamentals from here. You know, gross margins for NVIDIA should probably bottom in the April or the June quarter and improve to that mid 70% level as we head throughout the rest of the year. And then if you look at the supply chain, things are actually looking really positive for NVIDIA. So, you know, Han Hai reported its February numbers this morning. They're the biggest, you know, partner for NVIDIA. And the February numbers were up 56% year over year in terms of revenue. And then if you look at the fundamentals of other parts of the supply chain, memory prices are starting to increase for both DRAM and NAND, both up mid-single digits off the bottom. And then finally, probably most importantly, if you look at NVIDIA's revenue growth from here, we're going to just keep seeing sequential acceleration. So I kind of put it together, and I like the setup of the stock.
Wrapping up our exploration, it's evident that NVIDIA is positioned uniquely at the heart of AI's unfolding story. With the Stargate initiative gaining momentum, sparked by NVIDIA's technology and expansive vision, there's a persuasive case for investors to consider NVIDIA stocks. But what do you think? Share your thoughts. Finally, if you would like to know what companies like NVIDIA have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.